Does anyone have any idea what the hell Microsoft is doing? Windows is evolving into an agentic OS, connecting devices, cloud, and AI to unlock intelligent productivity and secure work anywhere. What the hell do all those even mean? Thankfully, we have Copilot to elaborate more on that, and the details are just stupid. Agentic OS means that Windows has turned from a traditional OS where users do stuff manually into an agentic OS where it's a system that acts on your behalf. In Fallout terms, Windows is no longer a terminal you manually type in and access, it is now Mr. Handy. Think of it less as a desktop and more as a personal AI-powered hub. Ah, yes, because that's exactly what the most common desktop users want, an AI-powered hub. I despise how AI technology evolved way too fast, and their adoption is forced down our throat, leading to people misusing these amazing tools for the dumbest of things and absolutely breaking everything as a result. Windows will also seamlessly integrate with your devices and have cloud integration. There's nothing new about that. My PCs, laptops, and phones can access cloud files seamlessly and edit them wherever I want. And this is cross-platform too. And then of course we have AI empowerment with Copilot assisting with all sorts of work and even security. Oh yes, it can do all that, but it doesn't always work well, and you still must rely on good old common sense. In short, Windows is positioning itself as the intelligent backbone of modern work, where devices, cloud, and AI converge to create frictionless productivity and resilient security. Thank you for the brief description, Copilot, and thank you, Microsoft, for giving me features that most people never ask for. Did you know that AI is writing nearly a third of Microsoft software? Imagine Microsoft and Xbox sucking so bad that Valve had to step in and show everyone how it's done. Wow, look at that! Valve is entering the hardware market with their Steam hardware, and the most interesting one is the Steam Machine, which is gonna be their entry to the couch gaming console market by simply being a PC that you can plug into your TV. And yes, the Steam Machine is a PC, but it's gonna be running the Arch Linux-based Steam OS. But you can also install Windows there too, the same way you can install Windows on the Steam Deck. Obviously, it's not gonna perform optimally, but it will absolutely work. I love that PC fanboys keep claiming consoles are dead, while Valve keeps trying to become one. I don't know about the people that say consoles are dead, because I don't agree with them either. Xbox is dead, as a console manufacturer I mean, not as a brand. It's still alive to this day, for better and worse. PlayStation is still active and still kicking, despite their issues. The same goes with Nintendo, despite their issues. So, no, consoles are not dead. And the fact that Steam released this announcement just when Microsoft gives up on Xbox as a console in favor of being a Windows-based PC instead is nothing but excellent timing. Gaming can be an expensive hobby, which is why we should try not to spend too much on it so we can afford houses. This person thinks that you're not doing enough to save for a house. You want a house? Cool, cool. When are you gonna give up your $1,500 smartphone that you buy the new version of every year or so? No, I do not buy a $1,500 smartphone that I buy the new version of every year or so. Most people couldn't afford to do it. When are you canceling all your subscription services? I only have YouTube Premium because I listen to music and watch videos, Movat VPN because VPNs are essential to me, and Canva because I work on marketing, and even then they paid me for it. They all cost less than $30 here, and I need all those. When are you giving up Uber and Uber Eats? We do have food delivery apps, but I barely use them. It's way cheaper to just go out and get the food myself. When are you going to stop buying a $7 coffee every morning, sometimes twice a day or more? I don't buy expensive $7 coffees. I made my own at home, and even when I go out to get coffee, they're about $2 at most. When are you gonna do without a week-long or longer vacation at least once each year to some exotic locale? Bro, I don't need a vacation in an exotic locale. I am living in that exotic locale. When are you gonna sell your brand new car, buy a beater, and drive it until the wheels fall off instead of trading in every 3 to 5 years? Who the hell trades cars every half a decade? When are you gonna stop clubbing every weekend? I do not club every weekend. Why do you assume that I am? When are you gonna let go off your $100 week or more booze weed habit? Weed is illegal here and I don't drink booze, so this is pointless. When are you going to quit eating out almost exclusively? I barely eat out, bro. I didn't do all those things, and yet I'm still struggling for cash. Most people don't do all that. Only the bougies do, and they really don't have a problem finding houses. Most of them already own them. Also, I thought you said that we're using food deliveries. Why would we want to go out almost exclusively if we already have food deliveries? Most people don't do all these things, and they still can't afford houses. The housing market is terrible, and to suggest that it is our fault for not working hard enough completely dismisses the systemic problems within it. Some people think that the modern life is the bane of everyone's existence, so much so that you are asked to abandon one of modern life's most essential gadgets. You must have a phone to function. This right here is why the younger generation fails. Okay, boomer. The younger generation doesn't fail just because smartphones exist. Actually, the younger generation doesn't fail at all. I don't know what metric you're using to determine whether the younger generation fails or not, but it's not because of smartphones. If it is, at least provide some data. Apply it to jobs that don't require it. Not all do. Wow. So easy for you to say all that behind that smartphone screen, isn't it? Are there any jobs in this world that do not require smartphones? I have family members that work blue-collar jobs like farms and factory workers. They all need WhatsApp. They absolutely need phones to communicate. It doesn't have to be the most expensive phones. It just needs to run WhatsApp and can access 4G internet. Also, why would people want to actively find jobs that do not require smartphones if most people already have one? Considering the job market right now, they would be glad if they could find a job at all. If you really are that anti-smartphone, lead by example and quit Twitter X. Or, and hear me out, if more people stop living their entire lives through their stupid phones, perhaps everyone would stop requiring them. Yeah. That's not how the world works. You can't just collectively tell people to stop using one of the most essential devices to live in the modern life right now, for better and for worse. Well, technically, you can collectively tell people to do it, they just don't want to. Because most people absolutely do need their phones, including you, as you're making this dumb take. You collectively did this. Don't whine about it. Bro, the only person that I'm seeing whining about this topic is you here on Twitter X. I think it's best for you to set a proper example and leave Twitter X alongside your smartphone. Or are you too stupid to do that? Do you know what is the bane of modern life? AI. Some industries adapt AI way too early. Producers called us idiots for not writing with ChatGPT. Well, I guess that producer should fire those writers and stick with ChatGPT then, right? Apparently, the OP sister met with this producer who made mediocre big-budget franchise movie for a big studio a few years ago. The producer had an idea of a lame and generic police procedural, but then the producer started talking about how he's using ChatGPT to write it. I start writing. When I don't know what happens next, I put my script into ChatGPT, and it gives me some options to choose from. Well, you can use ChatGPT to generate ideas, but if you are anti-AI, there are many other better ways for you to find inspiration and overcome that writer's block. The usage of AI is not that essential in this case. It's more like one of the many tools you can use to overcome that. Are you kidding? It's great! You should be using it to write your books. Only idiots aren't using it at this point. Okay, as someone who does writing as a hobby and throws them out to AI chatbot just for fun, I still wouldn't recommend using ChatGPT to write whole books or screenplays. Granted, the development has matured a lot and will continue to mature as time goes on, but that still doesn't dismiss the wisdom that you all need to adopt with anything AI generated. Always treat them as first draft and double check to make sure that they're not talking out of their ass because they can absolutely do that. That or stick to normal human writing and overcome your writer's block with 80 other ways. It's not exactly an uncommon problem. Here's a franchise where the writers are genuinely struggling with writer's block, even though it's so easy to overcome. I have watched all the Eon James Bond films. All of them, from Dr. No all the way to No Time to Die. My favorite of all time is still GoldenEye. It's such a perfect Bond film that does pretty much every aspect of a Bond story right. I definitely cannot wait for the next James Bond movie, but the writers have some issues with it. Spoilers for No Time to Die, but it really doesn't matter because the movies are going to be rebooted anyway. James Bond's death in No Time to Die is causing a nightmare for the next film. Writers are stuck because Bond was blown to pieces. Seriously? Just reboot the franchise. It's really not that complicating. You can't have him wake up and shower and say that it was all a dream. Of course you can't. Just reboot the franchise or have an alternate timeline like Star Trek 09. Start from scratch. This really isn't that hard to comprehend, but I guess writers have zero creativity now. I do have to say that while I am waiting for the next James Bond, I do recommend one criminally underrated series that recently just got a second season, and that is The Night Manager starring Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie. It's a nice little glimpse of what Tom Hiddleston as James Bond would look like. One more hoopla, and that is in relation to this misclassified anime. This is an odd description of an anime. I've heard this is a GOONER anime. I'm not interested in those. The anime in question is Full Metal Alchemist. No, really, Full Metal Alchemist. That's a GOONER anime, some dumbass said. I haven't finished the first anime, but I can totally see why it's loved by many. I can tell you for a fact that it is not the same level of porn brain of an anime as, I don't know, interspecies reviewers. But yeah, go watch Full Metal Alchemist and find out why some people consider it their favorite anime of all time. And then watch the Brotherhood version if you want something that is more faithful to the manga, as the original anime was finished with a different ending than the manga. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.